Hey, welcome back everybody to our third matchup of the night here on our second day of playoffs. And we're going to be headed to the Rival League where we got Vortex and Lightspeed facing off in the battle of the 3-4 matchups tonight. And we heard the man earlier, but we got him for a second showing, and we got Merely here with me.
Yes, and I believe it's your second showing as well, Bagels. We got this on lock.
Yeah, we
Switching up the
do.
roles a bit.
And then a little bit of an unfortunate matchup on the content side of thing in the previous series. Uh, it didn't feel like a sweep, but at least as far as the stats are concerned, the series score was a sweep there for acceleration over diffusion. But I'm expecting anything but a sweep here in this matchup. Merely, I'm not too sure about how you're feeling.
Well, in all honesty, I don't really know what to expect. We've got an interesting turn of events, as there is a new player on the Lightspeed roster who we got to roast a little bit because he doesn't know that you're supposed to wait to join. Got a little bit ahead of himself, and we had to restart the lobby, leading to a couple technical difficulties. But that's okay. It's just it's pretty much tradition at this point for one player to accidentally join the lobby, and we have to remake. I did it. Well, we didn't have to remake, but I accidentally did it on Monday. So we'll come some slack. But Zal is a new player on the Lightspeed roster. We'll have to see how he fits in here.
Yeah, and quick shout out, forgot to mention him last time around, but Crippist with the gift sub to Ariso, and while we were on the break, we got Sandsbar coming with the 2 months, so shout outs to both of those boys. But yeah, in terms of what to think, I think the situation has only gotten stranger because, according to the word down the grapevine, Vortex scrimmed Hydra and apparently clapped them, and Lightspeed scrimmed Pineapples and apparently clapped them. So both these teams taken out two of the other teams in the semis already in scrims, and Zal, new player on Lightspeed, and who knows how much Bubs is going to carry on Vortex. So it could be a close one, and I'm honestly not quite sure which way this one's going to turn.
Yeah, it's really, like I said, unpredictable. I did hear about that scrim against Hydra. I will say though, Hydra known to not give it their all in scrims, not to take anything away from Vortex. They are the only team to beat Hydra this entire season, as Hydra is sitting at only one loss for the entire season. But also, Arrival did beat Hydra in a scrim as well, and we all know that although Arrival was obviously the favorites to take the entire championship, we ended up getting swept in the first round. So you can't always put that much stock into scrims. Definitely should be a little bit of a confidence booster for the Vortex boys today, though.
Yeah, certainly. And like you said, Vortex the only team to take out the top dog in Rival League. But as far as these two teams are concerned, both sitting at a 1-1 record against each other throughout the two games in the season, and one going to Game 5, one going to Game 4. So if anything is going to be used as a predictor, it would be that we got at least a Game 6 on our hands. But who knows? Maybe Zal could be a carry similar to Bubs, and we're gonna get these boys up on here in the lobby. I know we kind of danced around the topic, but you got a final decision on who you think is gonna take it?
I still do think that Vortex is going to have the advantage here. This lineup is one that has been shaky at times during the season, but this is the original lineup for Vortex. They started out a little bit weak, but they've been really strong. I believe they won their last 7 series in a row. In my opinion, the second best team in Rival right now, but we'll have to see if they hold up against this new roster.
Yeah, I think I might have to agree with you on Vortex, although maybe my thinking might shift ever so slightly depending on how these first few games it goes for Lightspeed. But I'm thinking Vortex Game 6, as it does seem like Vortex is under duress here in these opening seconds, coming out from Lightspeed as they're panicking. And Bub's actually sitting in the Dominus. I know he's normally an Octane player, so maybe feeling a little bit more confident in that car. But starting out these first 30 seconds, this is not what we were predicting. It looks like Vortex is struggling to even get
Yeah,
out of their box.
yeah, Vortex stuck on defense for a good portion first minute here. Now they've broken out a little bit. I really feel like a big key to victory in this series for Vortex, though, in all honesty, is going to be how well they play around Bubs. I mean, Bubs is literally, if he gets space and if he gets his opportunities, then Vortex pops off. If they kind of have trouble rotating around him, though, things could get a little bit sticky.
Yeah, he might be one of, if not the most mechanical player in Rival. Maybe Zerf, the only other player to rival him. Apparently Zal's a good carry, but we haven't seen much from either of those two men so far, as Bub's getting a good touch to bail out his team on defense here. But once again, the name of the game has been Vortex's defense. They're completely stuck on their own half and trying to work their way out. Here is Zal into the corner. But Zoro trying to take a shot, but completely off target. Defender was there, but Zal once again putting this one in the blue box, and it just can't get past the midline as Chipmunk finally getting it past Astro, whiffing out on the side, but Chipmunk can't find a touch either in the corner. And now almost getting a pinch goal off of Zoro, but still finding the save, and now with a big 50 in the midfield, Astro's gonna walk this one all the way in.
And a big read from Astro, but it really didn't take all that much effort to see that Bubs wanted to cut this one inside. A bit too obvious there, and Astro reads that one easily. And yeah, after, I mean, honestly, a solid 2 minutes of nothing but light speed pressure for the most part, they finally find a goal, even though it's off of a counterattack, not even the pressure they had.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, it wasn't even stuck in their half, it was stuck in their box, as right off the kickoff, Astro's gonna get another one. And this is not what we were expecting.
And now the ball is stuck in Vortex net. Not what we were expecting at all, but Lightspeed with a strong start here. Maybe just a little bit of nerves from Vortex. Not really sure what we're seeing here.
Yeah, and going back to that first goal, it just was a big mistake from Bubs. I mean, when you're the last man back, you really don't want to risk a fake challenge like that. He was just trying to get some extra ball control right there, and probably would have been better off just securing it to the corner, trying to let Casper and Chipmunk get back. And really not the good play right there. And then shortly thereafter, Lightspeed again off the kickoff, Astro getting his second goal of the game. But to see if Vortex can work their way back onto offense. But once again, right back on the blue half, Casper making a last second save, and another big dunk to follow. And Zoro trying to keep this one in. Chipmunk getting it out. Astro with a slight bit of a pre-jump, keeping this one locked in this Vortex half as it has been all game. Bubs finally getting a good clear, but Zoro there to cut it off. And Bubs into the corner looking to get as many touches as he can to sneak this one out. But Zal dunking its way past two, and Zal trying to follow it. Big missed opportunity for insurance goal, but Zoro will be there for the follow-up. And it is just absolute suffocation right now.
And Lightspeed is just dominating the pitch. In all honesty, it looks like Vortex, they're struggling to find consistent touches. There have been just a few moments where if their control was a little bit better, I don't think they would have been in such a poor position. But at the same time, Lightspeed is doing really well, keeping the third man rotation tight, keeping this pressure on. Now 3 goals and nothing to show for Vortex.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if where this Zal guy came from, if there's any connections with either Zoro or Astro on the team, but either way, I think both Zoro and Zal were very late additions to this roster. Zal, the more recent one, where I'm not quite sure the circumstances of it, but I think Zoro was picked up right before the trade deadline, or maybe even after, as I'm not quite sure what happened to all the Lightspeed members, but either way, this Zoro, Astro, and Zal combination, as far as this game 1 is concerned, is completely putting this Vortex roster to shame, as they're gonna secure a 4th one.
And Vortex just can't find anything. Chipmunk gets a touch to the sidewall, kind of realizes that all 3 of his teammates, or all 2 of his teammates, are in the same place as he is, tries to make another touch but can't find it. That's just an easy open net for Lightspeed, and things are looking rough out of the gate here for Vortex.
Yeah, and I did make a mistake. Zoro, apparently drafted at the very beginning of the season. I haven't seen Lightspeed on stream all that often. I think they only did have 1 stream match, and it was a little scuffed. But I mean, either way, Astro a solid player himself. It appears to be that Zoro is working well with the team, and Zal, solid late addition, has proved to be extremely noteworthy so far. But it doesn't even look like they're doing anything special. It just looks like they're dominating. They're just beating Vortex to the ball and getting solid touches.
That's really all it is so far. I mean, solid touches, solid 50s, smart 50s, and I mean, I wouldn't even say insane rotations, just basic rotations that Vortex can't really deal with at the moment.
Yeah, and maybe now Vortex with a little bit of a reality check, getting pummeled in that game one. Might have to take the full 60 seconds here, and Chipmunk might have to rally the boys, calm Bubs down, and find out what is going on, because just getting absolutely dominated. 10 shots to 2 for Vortex, and it really felt like 80% of the game was played not only in the Vortex half, but in their defensive third, even their box, and they just could not get out. It looked like they couldn't get any of their own corner boosts, and Lightspeed came to play.
Like you said, just absolute suffocation from Lightspeed. And I will say, Vortex, you know, when they're at their best, they look unstoppable. When they're not at their best, sometimes they can struggle a little bit, especially with those defensive rotations. That looked like that was a big problem for them. But they're also a very momentum-based team, so I feel like Lightspeed has to keep up this suffocation, because if you give Vortex an inch, they will take a mile.
Yeah, certainly. And you mentioned the space being given to Bubs, and it doesn't seem like Lightspeed's given them a quarter at the moment. But if you get Bubs on the ball with some boost, and it's looking like he's sticking with the Dominus, so must be maining that car recently. But I mean, Bubs on Octane, as far as I've seen, has been a force to be reckoned with. But you give that man space on the ball and some boost to work with, he can pull off some flip resets and high mechanical plays, double taps, you name it. But Lightspeed, they are not having any of it right now, and Astro and company are... We said it might not be a sweep, but that would be an absolute statement to make here, as they're going to go off against Pineapples if they do make it through.
Yeah, well, to be fair, you said it would not be a sweep. I said that I had no idea what the outcome would be. Although I did predict Vortex winning, maybe feeling a tiny bit silly after that stomping in game one. Still, I definitely know that Vortex has the potential to recuperate from that one.
Yeah, certainly. As here's Bubs on the ball. A lot of boost, but not a lot of play resulting from it. A lot of spins, but just got one mediocre touch. As a bump play almost coming out. Astro getting the bump, and Zoro 50ing his way through the final defender, Chipmunk, and not much he could do right there.
And a tough 2v1 position. Zoro with a smart touch, just getting it around Casper, who pre-jumped just a split second too early. But that's another smart play from Lightspeed. And I mean, that's really all that's to be said right now. They're just outplaying Vortex.
Yeah, and that was a textbook play coming out from Lightspeed in the 2v1, forcing that defender to be awkward. And Chipmunk did everything right, honestly. He was able to find the save, but like you mentioned, Zoro's positioning, the delayed 50 just muscled his way through. And a good early goal again from them, as Vortex, game 1, game 2, haven't found a lead yet. Opportunity here for Casper, but a bit of a slow aerial. It's going to allow Zoro to dunk him out. Chipmunk taking to the dribble. Almost trying to get a good flick, but lost it halfway through. Bubs up early, looking to send this one down. But Zoro up with them, actually finding a good touch off that rebound, keeping it away from the Vortex offenders. Astro with the big clear all the way back. Bubs having to give that one away early, as he didn't want Astro to dunk him out. To the middle, but Casper getting beat out again. And that's the second time where Casper just not on the same page with his teammates, or perhaps Bubs. Slight misplay right there.
And not the best touch from Bubs there. Casper getting a bad read on the play, thought he could beat the attacker there, but no shot that he is ever beating him to that ball. Definitely something that he should have recognized. Well, it wasn't a tough position, but patience is a virtue, and he could have used a little bit right there. Now it seems like Vortex are starting to get a little bit frustrated after not really scoring. Well, they scored one goal in game one, but not really scoring, I'd say, any actually like goals that could seem good for them, to be honest.
Yeah, that definitely a little bit of a consolation goal right there, and didn't end up really meaning much, as there's Casper again trying to cut off opportunity from Lightspeed. Chipmunk up early, but neither player's finding contact. Bubs getting an insane 50, and Zoro there in the right spot. And Casper rushing in again, but too far and too back, just like on that previous play. He couldn't get in. to make the opportunity threatening enough. This Chipmunk trying to get this one out of his half. Bubs up. Solid shot. Forcing a double commit, but Zoro will find the save. And again, this one high flying off the ceiling. And once again, Casper, I mean, the rotation just, if they're going to be playing aggressive, it just looks like Casper's a second too late on these plays.
And yeah, what it really looks like right now is that Vortex wants to get aggressive and they want to make these offensive plays happen. But before they can do that, they just have to stop Lightspeed from having, I mean, complete control right now. Lightspeed is just beating them to every ball, getting challenges exactly where they need to be. Vortex needs to clean it up before they can try to get these insane plays, because right now they're just taking pop shots that aren't really ever going to go in the net.
And a series of demos is going to relieve the pressure to Lightspeed. And you mentioned it, and it just looks like game one, Vortex was certainly being outclassed as a play almost developing right there, but once again shut down from Astro. Looked like game one, Lightspeed was completely outclassing them. And if Vortex don't find a way back into this game two, I really feel like they've missed an opportunity, because Lightspeed, they're playing solid, but they look beatable here. And these two goals coming out from Lightspeed have just been huge mistakes. And it looks like they're going to get one back, and this is a start for them.
And Vortex finally bringing the score to something reasonable and manageable to come back. Now only one goal away from tying. A little bit of a miss there from the defender, and Lightspeed showing a little bit of weakness that we haven't really seen so far. Definitely, Vortex are going to have to bite at this opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. And just mentioned it a second ago, but Lightspeed, they have not looked dominant at all. It's just a matter of Vortex making two crucial mistakes on the defense. Still got around 30 seconds left to try and get their way back here in game two to not fall down 2-0 in the series. The two teams that we saw earlier in the day, once they went down 2-0, they were not able to come back. It's not a reverse sweep at 2-0, but it's certainly difficult, as here's Bubs trying to make a play happen, and he will take it past all three players.
Bubs showing up. There we go. Fakes out. Zal fakes out Astro and then flicks it past Zoro, who is helpless. And that's the plays that we expect to see from him.
Yeah, and he didn't show up at all game one, but game two, he's got 2 goals, 6 shots, almost 500 points, and he's certainly made himself a part of this conversation. And this is exactly what Vortex needed to get the momentum back on their side. Final seconds, can either team make a comeback? Here's Chipmunk looking for the double. Zoro trying to block it. 50 off to the side. Here's Bubs. Back off the sidewall. Casper there, and he's going to whiff out. Now Zoro in the dribble opportunity. Big flick. But Chipmunk actually missing the ball. A little dangerous, but either way, touching the ground, and we got overtime.
And Vortex will be thankful to find themselves in this position. Looked rough at the start of the game, but now they have an opportunity to equalize in the series. Gonna have to be a lot more accurate than they were in the previous times. And it looks like they're going to have opportunities.
Yeah, certainly Casper, a bit of a pre-jump, almost dunking out the player. Almost a really good read coming out from him, and a solid shot to follow it up right after. But sent away. As here, in the 3v1, someone trying to chase Zoro, but neither player finding contact. Here's Casper, and he barely gets it in as he almost collides with his teammate.
And there it is, a game of, honestly, some defensive mistakes. Zoro just drives past the ball. I don't know exactly what happened there. Just complete whiff, and the breakdown on Lightspeed. Vortex will not pass up that opportunity to take a tie in the series.
Yeah, that was a big whiff coming out from Zoro. I haven't seen any big whiffs from Lightspeed at all, game one, game two, but that one just was absolutely devastating for Lightspeed and threw away the game. And honestly, the shot following there right after did not look convincing at all. Bubs and Casper both trying to crash in on that ball, make an opportunity.
I think I saw Chipmunk make an appearance as well.
Yeah, I don't think if Bubs bumped Casper, I think that one was going wide. I don't know. It was not good, but either way, Vortex, they come out with a win.
And only by a fraction of a hair will they get that one, but it will be enough to equalize. Now both teams going to have to brush it off and try to recuperate, just consolidate a bit and clean up these mistakes.
Yeah,
or else it could not bode well.
I mean, yeah, Whether it was off of a mistake or a skillful play or not, like that Bubs 3v1 dribble, a big confidence booster here for Vortex, now notching the series back up at 1-1, avoiding the all too dangerous 2-0 deficit in the series. And certainly they threw away the game a little bit early there in game 2, but able to mount the comeback and looking good as of late. And Lightspeed, they haven't been able to find their game 1 performance, but heading into game 3, we'll have to see who can take back the lead. It's now Bubs on the back wall, taken to the sky, trying to air dribble literally everybody on the map. This is getting a good 50. Casper, solid 50 to follow it up, almost sneaking his way past Zoro, the final defender. Chipmunk getting a 50. He flings high in the air. Zal kind of giving away possession for no reason. He had 0 boost, should have stayed close to the ball, but still able to keep this one in this blue half. Astro looking for the bump on the follow-up. Zoro getting a lofty touch above the net, but Casper securing it away to the side as Bubs comes flying in, not getting a solid touch of his own. As a bit of a scuffle in the midfield merely, and I think both teams are concerned and really wanting to win this game 3, but they're not really showing it right now.
I'm not really sure. Okay, the ball finally escapes that left-hand corner of Vortex. Why do I feel like the ball was stuck there for almost an entire minute? It seemed like no one could find a clear or even a shot opportunity. Now things have gone a little bit back to normal, but definitely a more scuffed game 3 than games 1 and 2, even given the tragic ending of game 2.
Yeah, it was a battle in that corner for quite a while. It very well could have been a minute, but now Vortex breaking out. Solid bounce off the backboard. Chipmunk to the middle, back to Bubs. Off the crossbar again, here's Casper. But Zoro bailing out his team with a solid clear. But now Zal getting a little bit of a mistake similar to that Bubs game 1 play. He just went for a fake challenge as third man.
And Zoro, expecting Zal to challenge, also pushed up. That really should not have been a goal. I mean, I'm sorry, but you just can't see Bubs within that small of a radius to the ball and not expect him to go for it. I mean, come on, this is Bubs we're talking about. He's going to go for that ball 100 times out of 50.
Wait a second. Okay.
And
you got anything to say about that?
You know what? I kind of just want to move past that one. Zal, we're gonna chalk it up to his first time on stream. Some nerves. Defense for Lightspeed. Taking a short vacation. Hopefully they'll be back in time for the rest of this game.
Okay. Yeah, that's about what I was going to sum it up as. As here he is, getting a decent air dribble, but Bubs playing patient, getting his way past 2, and it kind of just seems like Lightspeed are the ones who are playing panicky all over each other, clustered in the midfield, just trying to make a way, make a touch back onto this blue half, as it's been living on this blue half for most of the series, but certainly not the case here in game 3. As here's Zoro trying to make a statement high off the backboard. Probably would have found the double, but a solid clear from Casper. We'll send that away. As Bubs is up early, this is very reminiscent. This is very reminiscent of the Ray Ray play from earlier. Bubs just an absolute ball chaser, but certainly Bubs a much more competent ball chaser than Ray Ray is.
Let's not do
it. Oh my goodness.
I don't think we need to call back to that series, Bagels. All right, we'll leave that one in the past.
I'm sorry, it was just so entertaining.
It was. And so far this one has been, I don't know if it's been as entertaining, but it's been equally as interesting as now. Okay, nice avoidance on the demo, but still gets demo nonetheless. This game is just turning into chaos all of a sudden.
Yeah, certainly. And Lightspeed are going to be not happy with that chaos, as they are not in control of this game at all. And it seems like they haven't been in control since game 1. Game 2, they just had to thank their lucky stars, as here's finally a good play developing. Zal making up for one of his mistakes off the poor save coming out from Vortex.
And finally, like you said, Lightspeed making a good play on the ball. A big pass from Astro to Zal, finding each other. The shot was good enough to make it in. Good defense still from Vortex, but not quite enough to keep that one out. That's what we need to see from Lightspeed. And it really looks like, honestly, ever since that fake play from Bubs, it looks like Lightspeed lost some of their confidence. And I really need to find it again, because the team that we in game 1 was much more confident and just, I mean, honestly, a better team than we're seeing now, for the most part.
Yeah. This is a dangerous game to lose if you're Lightspeed. I think if they lose this as they're panicking on the backboard, and Chipmunk will get a big insurance goal after the mistake on defense a few seconds ago.
And another panicked goal, panic on the defense from Lightspeed, Astro, and I believe that was Zoro in net, just looked completely helpless. That shouldn't have really been that difficult of a ball to clear, but both players just in terrible spots. And now they're 2 goals down once again.
Yeah, and like I was saying, if Lightspeed come back to lose this game, I think Vortex could very well run away with the series the way they're playing right now. Kind of got away with a lucky win game 2, but game 3 they came here to play, and Lightspeed, they're on the downswing at the moment. As like you mentioned, not as confident as their game 1 selves. They're allowing Bubs space, allowing him to get the boost he needs to come out with these plays. And if they're going to have any hope of coming back here, as Vortex is sitting in the driver's seat, they're going to need to shut him down, as Chipmunk and Casper are a little bit more exploitable than Bubs right there.
Yeah, that's honestly seemed to be the difference. They're just not shutting down Bubs like they were in game 1. Bubs has so much room to breathe, and you can see it in the way he's playing. He doesn't look claustrophobic at all like he did in game 1, and now that he has space, Vortex looking like they're poised to take this series, especially if they can get another win in the next game.
Yeah, and Lightspeed, not that I could be reading too much into this. Lightspeed not GGing after the last game, even though they lost it, but I think they lost a big confidence booster here after falling in game 3. The quick 3 GGs from Vortex, nobody on Lightspeed responding with one of their own. And not that doesn't really mean too much, but definitely they're not feeling the way they were earlier on in the series, and it's showing right now.
You gotta imagine. I mean, that was a painful loss for Lightspeed. Really, all 3 of Vortex's goals I chalk up to just defensive mistakes that really shouldn't be happening from Lightspeed. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, if their comms are breaking down or if maybe they're feeling like they're starting to lose a grip on Vortex playstyle. But they're gonna need to change something up here. Maybe just, I mean, I think the key to victory, honestly, every time you're playing against Vortex, shut down Bubs, demo him. Just honestly make him angry. If you can tilt Bubs, then you're going to have a much better time than if Bubs is just roaming free. When Bubs starts looking like he's in free play, that's when you have to be scared. And right now, he's going for flip resets on almost every single ball, and it literally looks like there's no one else on the field.
There he was, right as in the middle you were talking about him. He was taken to the air, trying to pull out a good play, but couldn't get his way past 2 defenders. As here's Chipmunk, solid read off the corner, but it will bounce high. And Casper, a little too far back to make an opportunity out of that play anyway. Bubs charging in, and Chipmunk, I don't even think he just got faked out. I don't even think the Lightspeed player knew he was coming. But either way, this ball's still stuck on the orange half. Chipmunk there, Bubs looking for the bump. But either way, Astro cleaning it up and bringing this one back on the Vortex half. Bubs getting another solid clear. As Astro half rotating in the midfield as the flailing Bubs comes flying in, but Astro panicking a little bit, not ready for it. And Casper's gonna clear it for Lightspeed. And interesting opening minute here. Hold on,
is that
Bubs.
shot?
There he is.
Bubs, what did you just do? Pre-flips the corner read, gets the lightest touch, but you can't expect that if you're Lightspeed. Oh my goodness.
And I mean, that is not at all what I was expecting after that unfortunate bounce from Casper, who pinched it off the net and cleared it for Lightspeed. And here's Bubs again, looking for another one, but getting shut down early. Zal not wanting any part of some highlight reel plays from Bubs once again. And we were this is the name of the game here for Lightspeed. They gotta shut this man down, and here he is again. As Astro flying in, trying to create no opportunities for Bubs. And they're gonna need to shut him down. And it looks like Lightspeed, they're starting to play a little bit better. But if you let him into the door, he's surely gonna take his way all the way through.
I would argue if you even open the door an inch for Bubs, he's going to just get a police battering ram and break that door down. And right now, that's what Vortex is doing to Lightspeed. A nice touch off the backboard. Defender maybe could have gone a touch there, but that's a tough spot to be in. And now Vortex really just starting to dominate, and you can feel the tide turning. It looks like Lightspeed can feel it too. They need to come back from this.
Yeah, and I said Game 3 was a dangerous game to lose, and the momentum only pouring on them in the negative favor as Vortex continuing to just dominate in the shot margins. They got 9 shots, Lightspeed sitting at 0. Haven't even found their way barely onto this blue half for most of this Game 4. And now, Vortex, unlike their Game 1 selves, are the ones who are suffocating Lightspeed. Here's Zoro, getting a decent double, but neither of his two teammates up to follow that 50. Bubs with a solid clear. Astro and Zoro colliding with each other. Bubs just looking to get a flip reset at every opportunity he can, whether it's the right play or not, who's to say? Here comes Casper, but with the bounce shot, won't be finding his accuracy right there. This one's actually going to sneak its way past Bubs, but Chipmunk, solid dribble off to the side. But Astro continuing to be annoying, putting a flick onto net, but not with enough power. As now, it just seems like, I mean, Bubs has certainly found his way into this game, but Lightspeed, it looks like they're on the same page with each other. They're just not clutching up. They're not making the good touches.
Yeah, they seem to be in the right spots for the most part, and they seem to know when they should challenge. Zal going for a flip reset of his own, trying to get some counter flip reset action, but they're just not finding the finishing touches. And honestly, most of their mistakes just look like they're mechanical, not due to anything else other than maybe a few unfortunate team bumps. They've been pretty solid in that department.
Yeah, Game 3 was definitely the defensive mistakes coming out, but like you said, it looks like they're in the right spots here. Game 4, but just the quality of touches aren't there. But hold on, they're going to get a good play here as Zally gets kind of a 2 flicks for the price of 1.
The turbo
worked out,
flick into the normal flick, I guess we'll say. It's always a good feeling when you get that flick and you're like, ah, crap, I messed up my flick. Wait, I beat a defender, and then you realize you can get another flick. It's just a great bargain, and that's gonna lead to a goal scoring opportunity. Now, even though, let me check the shot count right now. Okay, so Lightspeed has gone a few more shots, still getting dominated in the shot department, but they only need one more real opportunity to tie this game up.
Yeah, certainly, and got a minute left to work with to find that opportunity. So here's Astro looking for a big clear, but slight mistouch again. There's the quality of the touches coming into play. But Zal getting a good clear, actually finding a dunk as well. As Zoro, Bubs is just literally falling on every single ball, and Lightspeed can't get this ball out now as he's continuing to be annoying. Finally, Chipmunk decides he needs to rotate in. And Casper thereafter, Bubs up early, getting beat out by Zal by a mile there. Zal on another dribble, another kind of subpar flick coming out from him, but was just a little bit better on these flicks. Could have had an opportunity as all these players on Vortex panicking. And almost another solid opportunity here in the final seconds. Ball still in this blue half. Astro using all of his boost to try and find 1 second left. As here's Zoro popping it up, net open, but nobody could get back to it. And I can't help but notice that Zal was rotating back in the final seconds right there. If he just stayed close to the play, that surely would have been a goal.
And that could have been a goal. I think the main problem was that Lightspeed stayed so long on offense and weren't able to capitalize on the first couple of opportunities that they ran out of boost. And it looked like no one had any boost to attack. Still, you have to be in the opponent's end when the ball is sitting like that. Just a complete let off. And at the end of the day, you really feel like Lightspeed should have scored there. Vortex defense was adequate to save what came on their net, but Lightspeed's quality of shooting, maybe due to panic or just a feeling of urgency, was not on point in the final seconds. And that's going to be fatal for, or that could prove to be fatal for them in the series as they're now down 1-3.
Yeah, and not even just in the final 0-second opportunity right there. The last 20 seconds, there was one opportunity where all 3 players were clustered up next to each other. 2 of them were on the backboard, and one was right below them on the sidewall. And I think both Astro, and I'm not quite sure if it was Zoro or Zal, but you mentioned the 0 boost. It looked like nobody had 0 boost to pounce on that opportunity, and by the time somebody finally rotated in, the 2 Vortex players pinched it off to their own corner, and just an opportunity that was not capitalized on. And again, in the 0 seconds, it looked like Zoro cut off Zal, but that was a good play. He popped it over all the remaining 2 defenders, and Zal, for whatever reason, opted to rotate back with 2 seconds left. But again, an opportunity you felt like they should have been capitalized on, but they're going to score here early.
And Lightspeed finding a little bit of redemption. Zal with a nice redirect to the backboard. Zoro with a little bit of a fake. Honestly, that's a ball that he should be going for, and the defenders kind of have to respect that that's a shot he might hit. A good kickoff goal. Still a lot of Rocket League left in this one, though.
Yeah, certainly, but either way, if you're Lightspeed, that's exactly how you want to start here to try and cool off Bubs and the rest of Vortex. As another double commit coming out from Vortex could be another opportunity as a big miss coming out from Bubs unexpectedly, and Lightspeed are going to be thanking their lucky stars they got 2 goals this early.
And that's not a ball that you expect to see Bubs miss, like you said. He was in a very good spot to deal with that. Maybe just panicked a little bit at the last second, but an early lead for Lightspeed now, and maybe they can find a little bit of confidence now, finding a somewhat comfortable lead.
And it did look like they found some of that confidence halfway through that game 4. It looked like they were a much better team, as they couldn't really, the quality of touches weren't quite there, but the positioning was, and ramping up in the final seconds, almost able to bring it back, but just couldn't quite do it. But they're showing up big here in this opening minute of game 5. So here's Zoro in the corner, but solid clear from Vortex. Bubs off the sideball. Casper trying to get there, and it's going to only go straight back to Bubs with a counter clear of his own. Now Astro taking to the dribble, looking for the fake, but once again forcing another double commit, and it hasn't quite bit them in the butt yet, but as another whiffs are coming out, Vortex is under complete panic at the moment. Double commits and whiffs galore.
And a double demo. Oh my goodness, this could be a huge chance. What a fake! And Zal comes in clutch, extending Lightspeed's lead even further. Oh my.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm looking at the replay right now. I have no idea how Astra got demoed, or that Bubs got demoed. He went flying at the ball, and he got demoed, and Astra was just floating in the air. But either way, the double demo came out. Zal, a lot of space to work with, and got a little bit of a fake underneath Casper, who I believe was the last defender. But I mean, either way, this is an absolutely fantastic start here for Lightspeed, as Vortex are double committing left and right, panicking, under complete duress, getting double demoed, and Lightspeed, they're looking like they found their confidence again.
Definitely, and after a few plays like that, you can understand why. Like you said, maybe the demo was a little bit sus, but you know, questionable demos are the unknown opponent that every Rocket League player has to deal with on the pitch. Something to always contend with. It'll favor Lightspeed this time. And now, like you said, Vortex not looking as coordinated in this game as in the previous 3. Gonna have to try and make something happen if they want to close out the series as fast as possible.
Yeah, and then another interesting demo. I can't help but comment on it, as there's just demos left and right. That one was a solid one. I'm trusting in that logic right there. But once again, Vortex just all over each other and double committing and just not in the right spots, as Bubs again half rotating in the midfield when he probably should have just went back. But now Zal looking for the ceiling shot, but couldn't quite find contact. Bubs solid redirect off the backboard. Zoro, a little bit of an awkward touch as Casper's working his way to keep this one in this orange half. Astro taken to the air dribble. Zal wanting to get a little bit involved in the play, but jumped halfway down, realizing he should have been playing it a little safer. Now Astro looking for a touch to the middle, but Chipmunk getting a good pop, sending this one back onto the Lightspeed half. Zoro not finding a touch. Chipmunk there, and it's going to fly in off of a Lightspeed defender, and Vortex are starting to breathe a little bit cleaner now.
And Vortex will score with plenty of time left to stage a reasonable comeback. A little bit of pre-jump action coming out from Lightspeed. They had to in that position. Just got a little bit unlucky. The shot from Chipmunk is just good enough. And now, like you said, Vortex back in this game, definitely. But this is not going to help matters.
Yeah, just unfortunate play from Casper, and just a good hit off the kickoff from Lightspeed, and maybe just trying to play a little bit too fast was Casper. He kind of got glued to the wall right there, and he couldn't get back off.
Yeah, kind of just another awkward kickoff. I think that's the second kickoff goal we've seen from Lightspeed, but kickoff goals worth just as much as double flip reset goals from Bubs. Lightspeed will be happy to see big numbers on the board for him. And now Vortex the one's under pressure.
Yeah, and only finding 2 shots here in this game 5. Lightspeed don't have too many shots of their own. They're only sitting at 7, but still the disparity there. Casper on the dribble, but losing it halfway through, perhaps looking to a pass to the middle. This Chipmunk trying to make it threatening, with Zoro sending this one long and away. And again, Casper, I don't mean to call too much flack to him, as he's going to whiff this one out here. And even in the previous games that Vortex were winning, it just looks like Casper having a little bit of an off day right now.
Yeah, that's just kind of an unfortunate 50. And then I think he could have gone back to that one. Looked like he panicked with no boost. Never a good feeling when the ball is rolling towards your net and you have 0 boost. You know, it won't look great if you miss the ball. Definitely not as easy as it looked to save that one, but still, now it looks like Vortex will be losing a little bit of a grip on their lead in the series, as I don't think a 4-goal comeback is really reasonable to propose here for Vortex.
Yeah, certainly not, unless Bubs can unlock the third eye and get 1,000 boost and just do whatever he wants with it. But certainly, this game, Vortex will be falling to Lightspeed here in Game 5 and bringing it back to Game 6. And at the moment, it's looking like my Vortex Game 6 predictions looking pretty clean. Not to tout myself up too much, but either way, Lightspeed looking for a bit of a pre-jump play, almost finding it. Where's the follow-up? But getting dunked away as Astro got denied. And Lightspeed will take this one, and we're heading to Game 6. And I think on the opposite side, Vortex are going to be lucky that they walked away with a victory in that last game, as they kind of went back to their Game 1 ways, just getting dominated by Lightspeed by a 4-goal margin.
I really do think, even though this was, I think, even a greater deficit than Vortex suffered in Game 1, I realistically, I don't think we can chalk this game up to Lightspeed stepping up and showing their Game 1 roots so much as it's kind of Vortex faltering on defense. There were a lot of plays there that were very questionable, I'd say, at best, and they kind of were just letting Lightspeed run over them, some missed touches, and just gave Lightspeed a few too many opportunities. They're gonna, if they can clean up the defense, I still think that Vortex are the favorites here.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. And you brought up the 2 kickoff goals. I mean, there's not much you can do about them. The kickoff goals do happen, but the whiffs are avoidable, and we saw a big whiff from Bubs early on. I believe it was the 2nd or 3rd goal, and then another kind of just strange opportunity where Casper could have potentially gotten back to it. At that point, it didn't really matter, as the goal deficit was already too large, but again, a goal that could have been prevented. And we're headed to Forbidden Temple here, merely, and we know what happens on this map. And strange things do happen, and we'll have to see if it's working out in the favor of Lightspeed, or Vortex can find a win here on match point to send their way to the semis.
You know, I want to say that Vortex probably win this one, because for some reason, Vortex always just does insane things on this map. Like, there was that chaotic shot in Season 3, just one of the best redirects I've ever seen in a Nemesis game, maybe the best goal of the season from Season 3. And then there was also this season that 50 goal from Casper, very unconventional, maybe not even the most skillful thing ever, but still another incredible play. They just seem to play differently on this map. I guess I could be mistaken, but they have a certain affinity for this one.
Yeah, certainly. And even going back to Season 2 when Blaze won, a lot of crazy redirects happened on this map in Season 2. And, you know, I know we didn't want to bring it up, but the Drake's Dissolved series, a series of interesting kickoff goals. And hold on a second, the strangeness is gonna continue, merely, as Bubs he demoed somebody and flung Astro into the ball. I don't know what happened right there.
Bubs just gets a weird 50. Zoro, I mean, kind of lazily rotating into the middle of the net, sees Bubs there, kind of forgets that Bubs wasn't trying to pass to him, sees an open net, says, oh yeah, easy shot. then might have realized it was on the wrong. But on the other hand of things, it looks like
Merely, is this scripted?
it
The
must
Forbidden
be.
Temple is just a weird map and strange things happen. Strange goals are afoot. But either way, we're going back to a nobody
It's
has the lead.
it's just the voodoo magic of Forbidden Temple, I guess. Normal gameplay is forbidden. I guess that's what the name implies. I don't even know what's happening.
Yeah, just strange things as we're trying to get back to some sort of semblance of normal play here, and we will try. As Bub's on the backboard, 50 out to the middle, but only going to be sent to Astros. Chipmunk got bumped this last back, and Astros going to have an easy open net there to work with.
And the defense from Vortex just kind of evaporates. Casper with a very risky pre-jump, leaving Chipmunk as last. And a good bump, I will say, from, I believe that was Zoro on Lightspeed to just completely take Chipmunk out of the equation and easy open net for Lightspeed.
Yeah, and interesting pre-jump from Casper indeed, and I think he's done that quite a few times throughout this series. As here's another opportunity. Astro trying to find its way past all three defenders, and it's a slow roller, but it'll get the job done.
And the slow roller coming into play here. Bubs went high off the backboard expecting a banger of a shot, hard to fall him, but in the end, you know, sometimes it's the bounce shot that's the most threatening, the one they don't expect. Now Lightspeed with another lead. I don't think we've seen them lose a game when they have a lead this commanding, and they're gonna make it even further.
Yeah, I mean, not much to say about this one. Just a good kickoff. Sal getting just a solid following his flip into the dunk, just completely dominating the final Vortex defender and Bubs. But that last goal, I mean, certainly, I do think the bounce shot was the correct option right there. I mean, unless you have the precision of Justin or Squishy trying to bang that one top left, top right, bounce shot is surely the way to go to try and throw off the defender's rhythm right there. And this is exactly what we wanted to see to Lightspeed, as surely, unless they drop this 3-goal lead, we will be headed to a Game 7 as Zoro attempting a semi-squishy Zal with the fake. But Chipmunk shutting that play down, not wanting to get clipped on again. But merely, this is what we wanted to see. It's not quite how we expected to see it, but it's what we wanted to see.
It's never how we expect to see it, Bagels, but you know, it's always better than we expected. In some ways, you know, in some ways better, in other ways, I don't even know what to say. Honestly, I kind of don't like that you said that a 3-goal comeback isn't possible here. It's Forbidden Temple, Bagels. I wouldn't be surprised if there's 15 seconds on the clock and Vortex somehow comes back. This is just the map of strange happenings.
Yeah, you know what? It's definitely possible. And Lightspeed are just ramping up the pressure right now, continually demoing all these Vortex players as Bub's clapping back with a demo of his own. And just in that last drive there on offense for Lightspeed, I mean, they got a bump on every single Vortex player and almost killed all the defenders. And they're just playing confident right now. But at the same time, to your point last game, it looks like Vortex is just not playing up to snuff at the moment. And just getting overwhelmed, trying to play a little bit too fast. Casper pre-jumping. He should be a little bit patient. Bub's not able to get involved in any of these plays. As finally he has an opportunity here. Getting it past 2, almost past a 3rd. But no shot resulting from all that pressure. And Chipmunk just kind of hasn't found his way into this rotation at the moment, but Lightspeed, they just, this is the Lightspeed we wanted to see.
Yeah, they're just meeting Vortex with a parry to every blow right now. To be fair, Vortex shooting not exactly on point. I swear they've had a couple opportunities where most times I would expect them to score. Looks like maybe the strangeness of the game and the demos and the tilt might be getting to them just a little bit, as now 3 goals to go and a minute left. This is getting more and more difficult with every second.
Yeah, honestly, the memory, I remember how 3 of the goals got scored. I'm not quite sure how the 4th got scored, but hold on, here's another opportunity. Sal couldn't find it. Astra couldn't find the follow-up either, but as Bub's getting a bump, but Zoro still able to muscle his way through and find a save. And whoa, okay, that one almost went in again. And another own goal. But, I mean, 3 out of 4 of these goals are very frustrating goals to give up if you're Vortex. There was the weird kind of kickoff one that happened. after they just got the own goal in the very beginning of the game. Then you got the Astro slow roller, just an absolute skillful shot that worked its way past all 3 defenders. And then the weird dunk off the kickoff. And that's just a lot of frustrating goals that's probably tilted all 3 of these players on Vortex. And Lightspeed may have been a little bit favorable in those goals, but when you're working your way towards Game 7, you're going to take every single one you can get.
And that's something that's also notable for Vortex. Struggling in this game. Actually, Vortex didn't score a single a single goal in this game, excuse me, as Lightspeed put in every single shot, even the one on their own net. So, in all honesty, I hope to see Vortex step up in this next game because I know they're capable of hitting these shots. Lightspeed just kind of took a lead that I think was a little bit too daunting in the end for Vortex in this game, but with an equal scoreline once again. I mean, it really depends on how well Vortex shows up in this game 7, in my opinion.
Yeah, and certainly, and Casper, the only one not readying up in the lobby, and that might be a good thing here to try and calm down the boys on Vortex. A lot of frustrating goals to give up there in that Game 6. The tilt factor may be a factor there for Bubs, and possibly even Chipmunk. Comms might be an issue, but they're going to have to try and calm down here as Lightspeed winning the last 2 games in succession. And now it's going to come down to here, Champions Field, Game 7. Only Game 7 of the night. And like you said, it's going to have to come down to Vortex playing it with a cool and level head, or if Lightspeed are going to continue to ride the train and bring the momentum home to find a trip to the semis.
I just want to point out also Squirrel confirming in Twitch chat, comms heated right now. I'm pretty sure, I think Chipmunk streams all of Vortex matchups, so I think he's also streaming right now. That could also be an added pressure. You know, I don't know about you, but whenever I stream my matches, I do not have always the same amount of focus as when I have my full attention on the game.
Well, considering I live in Trailer Park Town and my PC mauled, between the internet and the quality of my PC, I ain't streaming. But definitely from a conceptual standpoint, I understand where you're coming from.
Well, yeah, just try to imagine if you lived in somewhere with Wi-Fi more modern than 2001, what it might be like.
Yeah, certainly. As Lightspeed trying to combine for a series of aerial plays in the air as this one gets dished off to Bubs with the pre-flip, looking for the air dribble. Here he is, but Astro getting a last-second save on the goal line, and if he found that one, that would have been big early momentum right there for Vortex.
And that's something that Vortex is lacking right now, but they need to find. Honestly, I think that if Vortex cannot take the lead before Lightspeed does, it might just be GG for them. They are on the wrong side of momentum right now, and Momentum Org looking to complete this comeback as what is happening on defense right now.
Yeah, I think Casper, he slipped off the sidewall while he was trying to go up the backboard, and he actually ended up bumping Chipmunk. But, I mean, that is something that Rockerman always brings up in these match point games, these Game 5s, these Game 7s. Whoever scores the first goal, more often than not, will end up taking the decider of the series. But just a question of who will get that goal at the moment. Here's Zoro in the midfield looking to follow his touch. Not the best opportunity as Bubs, saving it away. Getting a demo to boot as Casper, a lot of space to work with. Kind of panicking a little bit on the dribble, but taking his way under 1, past 2. Final defender in an awkward spot as Zal getting a good save to the side, but Casper, I mean, we're talking about Bubs, the player for Vortex, but I think Casper here, after a few mistakes in the series and not quite fitting into the rotation, I'm thinking Casper's the guy who needs to step up here merely.
And it looks like he is stepping up. Honestly, Vortex as a whole just looks a million times better. More focused, more patient. So far in this Game 7, both teams looking patient, but Vortex especially needed to regain that as they almost get a pinch goal. But they're going to still have to create something more, and this could be the chance. Still looking to not go down in this Game 7.
Certainly neither team wanting to give halfway through to try and find this opening goal that is so crucial. Zoro getting so many touches on this dribble, but only getting his way past one, and neither of his teammates were ready. Bubs with the redirect, but couldn't find the accuracy to put that one top left, but Chipmunk still harassing this Lightspeed defense as Casper comes charging in. Good 50 that ends up going off the backboard, but an unfortunate bump actually works out in Lightspeed's favor to clear this one away, but it's only going to go right back in this series of boomer ball plays. Now, Casper pass to the middle. Chipmunk there looking for the shot. He's got to put it top right. We asked for Casper to step up, and he served up one for Chipmunk.
And Vortex strikes first. A great pass from Casper. Looks like Lightspeed just ran out of boost there. Unfortunate that neither could make it up to the ball. Now 2 minutes left. Vortex strike first. Lightspeed have to come back immediately, or else Vortex is going to take this one away.
And they got to come back quick, because they don't want to have to try and result to a final second opportunity. As Bubs taking a little bit too much time, but still able to get it past us. Here's Zal working his way past two. Casper last back, little bit of an awkward spot, and he got it past the final defender, but pinched off the car and couldn't set up the rest of Lightspeed. As now Bubs with an opportunity, putting one on. It's going to go crossbar down, and a huge insurance goal for Vortex in this Game 7.
And a 2-goal lead with 1:30 left. Bubs places it bar and down. That's exactly what we're used to seeing from Bubs. After a couple of inaccuracies early in this game, it looks like he's found his shooting. Now things are getting somewhat terrifying for Lightspeed.
Certainly, but good kickoff here for Lightspeed to get their way back into it potentially. But not quite sure what happened to the second and third men for Lightspeed, as a solid opportunity from Zoro, and nobody was there. As here comes Astro to the middle. Zoro for the shot, but a little bit too weak, even though Bubs and Casper were clustered on top of each other. But either way, Chipmunk getting his way past two, getting demoed for his efforts. Now Zoro looking for another solid pass to the midfield. Here's Astro, but Bubs just completely outpacing him and sending this one back onto the orange half. Casper comes flying in, but only ends up dishing it back over to Astro with a big clear of his own. Now Zoro looking for another double, but Casper. And I really got to give props here to Casper clutching up in this Game 7. You mentioned the patience. Both teams playing cool and level-headed early on, and Casper has stepped up big here in this Game 7, and that could very well have been the difference maker to send this one home for Vortex in these final seconds.
And it looks like they're going to take it. Now Vortex has the pressure again. Big misses on defense. Lightspeed has to score now, or it's all over. Astro with the play. He's just going to take the shot. That won't be fast enough, and that's going to secure the deal. Vortex, in a wild series, are going to come out on top just barely in Game 7 after a lot of ups and downs for both teams. And what a fantastic series it was.
Yeah, definitely. That was the heavyweight matchup we were looking for between Diffusion and Acceleration, and we kind of touted this one up as the match of the night, and it certainly did not disappoint going to Game 7, and a lot of thrilling goals to boot. A lot of interesting goals, but a lot of solid goals from Bubs and company from the rest of Vortex. And I believe they're saying one more in chat, but that was the series. That was Champions Field. That was the Game 7 for Vortex.
Yeah,
they're disagree, but no,
players on
apparently they
Lightspeed
don't
trying to sneak one through. Trying to sneak one through. I don't think it's gonna work. Looks like Bubs was ready to go for another round.
Yeah, I don't think. Apparently, the players don't know what Champions Field means, but for anybody in chat that doesn't know, Champions Field is the final map in our rotation, so we use that for Game 5 and Game 7. But I mean, either way, a hell of a series coming out, an absolute battle. But Vortex will take the decider there in Game 7 off of a series of great plays coming out from Casper and Bubs. And I mentioned it one time before, and I'll say it again. Needed Casper to step up after a few miscues early on in the series. And I feel like when he's playing solid, he's kind of the glue that holds this roster together, because we know what Bubs can do when he's on the ball, and Chipmunk, just solid player, but they need that third man and Casper to step up, and that's what gave him the victory, I think.
I'd have to agree. Casper stepped up big time in that Game 7. Honestly, not even a single weak moment that I saw out of him. After some questionable plays earlier in the series, he really proved himself and proved why he belongs on this Vortex roster. Still holding true perhaps to their second best in rival currently, although Lightspeed, definitely a promising look from them, especially when they were at their best. They looked like they could go toe-to-toe with the best in rival any day of the week. I'm definitely excited to see them. I'm glad they're not eliminated yet because I'm excited to see them in this lower bracket. They will be facing off against Gravelords on Wednesday, and if they beat them, then they'll have to face Hydra, which will definitely be a huge test. But after seeing them play like this today, definitely can't count them out of contention just yet.
Yeah, and if we do look at that bracket, we will be seeing Lightspeed falling down, and they're going to be going off against the Gravelords, like you were saying. But it will be a Gravelords without their third man in Steel. It's looking like they're going to have to play with Revert, and surely the performance will be taking a hit there from Gravelords. So at the moment, I'm expecting this Lightspeed team. I think we found our final four when we were talking about it in the season in review. We very well expected Vortex, Lightspeed, Hydra, and Pineapples all to make it to the semis. And I'm thinking, like you said, it's going to be a test. It's going to be a big ask, but Lightspeed, the way they were playing, might have something to say about the way Hydra is looking. And Hydra, they've been sitting, and they're going to continue to sit for another week, so could be cooling off.
Yeah, it's playoffs. Anything can happen, and anyone can pull off the upset. That was a bit of almost a bit of an upset today. I also just realized I said Wednesday, but I meant on Saturday. On Saturday, Lightspeed will face off against the Gravelords. Wanted to make that minor correction, but don't go anywhere because we still got two more matchups heading into the Challenger League next, where the Wraiths will be taking on Flame. That one should be a banger of a matchup as well.
Yeah, certainly. And we'll be going to break here in a second, and we will catch y'all then for the Challenger League 3-4 matchup.